Hi, everybody. This is Angel Arts, and welcome to the final finalist of the Athenaeum tabletop campaign. We had to save the best for last, of course, right, Chris?
Hey, yep.
Hey. But as you can see, we have another guest here, Roma. Thank you so much for joining us. I know that it can be very tricky with your time zone, but hopefully this isn't so bad for you right now.
It's fine. Perfectly fine.
Great. Cool. Well, maybe you might be in luck, Chris. If a wide awake Roma is a better scene maker than a half asleep Roma. I don't know. It could be the opposite. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, you never know. Creative juices can just come out when you're tired.
Cool. But you may have seen Roma in such campaigns as the Pokemon Tabletop campaign, um, where she played Molly Moon,
Mhm.
um, an amazing character who deals with murder fairies every now and then. But
Sometimes they're a little annoying.
yes, but enough of that. I am now going to hand the keys over to Roma so she can drive from here.
Right. All right, Chris. So first question I have, tell us a little bit about your experience with tabletop gaming.
Well, I've now been in it for two, 2.5 ish. Uh, no, just straight up 2 years at this point. So it's been really fun. I love just interacting with people and bouncing stories off of them, so that we can create this fun and interesting world. Uh, it's probably become one of the highlights of my week that I do. So,
Mhm. So why are you interested in this campaign in particular?
well, I mean, just that guy down there, and just even being in one of his campaigns is amazing. Uh, so him down there just blushing. Um, but also just because hopping from world to world will just be a really fun experience. Put Norio in the magical girl costume will be hilarious, and in general, it's just a blast.
Okay. What do you have to offer to the campaign?
Hmm. Well, besides Baby Norio, which I mean, just right there.
Of course.
That's a big one, actually. That's a really good answer. I'm all about the baby Norio.
uh, besides that, though, I don't know. I just feel like I bring a different perspective that not a whole lot will.
Mhm.
And just with my flexibility for timetables, I will be able to meet a lot of different requirements.
What are some of your biggest weaknesses as a role player, and how do you plan to overcome them?
Uh, well, one of my strengths is also my weaknesses. I see things through logical perspectives. So when something doesn't make sense to me, that'll I'll kind of go like, and get a little stuck on that one. How I generally overcome that is, well, as soon as somebody else moves on, I'll just be like, okay, well, let's jump with them. So I really bounce off of other people to get over where I get stuck.
Mhm.
And another one of my weaknesses, I'd say, is I will sometimes just lock onto an idea and go, okay, let's go with this, and get tunnel vision and not necessarily adapt too well at all times.
Mhm.
But again, I feel like when I'm with other people that I can bounce ideas off of, that I can generally see when things are going differently than we'd planned together,
Mhm.
because I'm less attached to it personally.
What has been one of your favorite memories in role playing? Like either a scene that you're proud of, or maybe something that went totally wrong. Like what is one of your favorite memories from role playing?
Okay, so one of my favorite moments from role playing would definitely be in a game of VTM, Vampire the Masquerade, for those who don't know. And I was playing this character. He was kind of a cocky guy. He generally thought himself pretty much the cock of the walk. And so he got into an arena fight with some guy, and he was like, you know what, I'm gonna beat this guy. It's gonna be pretty easy. And then this guy just like glares at my character, and absolutely, there's a power that just makes you lose all of your ability to fight, stand up to them, and anything. And this guy just uses it on me. So in front of everyone, my character has to flee and try and crawl out of the arena until the beast, which is one of those things that in that game has, just took over my character, and he went ballistic. And it's one of my favorite moments because it's like, wow, that's just the amount of just turning the tide that happened on him, and then just when he goes ballistic, he turns around and is like, "Okay, you're gonna pay." It was just an amazing scene in my mind.
It's always amazing when those kinds of scenes, when you get an opportunity to play those kinds of scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the Athenaeum will be combining a lot of different genres. If you could be in any real fictional universe, which universe would you like to be part of?
I have a book over there, actually, called Novice. In this book, essentially what happens is there are elves, orcs, and humans. Might be dwarves, but I don't remember. Actually, no, they're definitely dwarves. They were interesting. I liked the way that their culture went.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so, but one of the most interesting things is you're a summoner. You make pacts with creatures, and you've only got so much potential to hold these pacts inside of you. And but you want, like, however you make a pact with them, you then summon them into our world, or the book world.
Mm-hmm.
And just, you can use them as mounts. Some people use them as fighters to help protect them because the orcs are attacking the humans. And it's just a really interesting story. Technically, I don't know that I'd want to live there because it's kind of a harsh world, but just the concept of it is super cool, super fun.
Okay, it's kind of like Pokemon.
Yeah, in a way, yes, but slightly less kid friendly. No 10-year-olds going out to explore the world in this one.
So, Chris, your genre is autobiography, which is very interesting. It also sounds a very challenging concept to work with. So, could you please do your best to sell to the audience who's watching what is it about your universe, your autobiography universe, that will make it unique, interesting, and just plain fun for a party to visit?
Well, just like Norio, this book, time isn't exactly moving in its normal straightforward line. You've got places like Tokyo Tower next to a several 100-year-old building that got demolished, decades prior. You've got people who just pop in and out of existence, and just in general, the timeline is not where it should be. So just exploring why that happened, what's causing it, and how to fix it, I think would be an interesting story. As well as, there are pieces of the world that are just gone. Floors of building that just disappear. Alleyways that just fade off into an eternal blank whiteness. That, you may not want to step through. Who knows? You might just disappear yourself. Final reason is it'll give us a quick look at some of the things we've already seen in a slightly different light, which is, in my opinion, always interesting.
Sounds like you're mixing a little bit of autobiography with mystery genre,
Maybe.
actually. So you could double up on that, which is something I'm looking for too. Kill two birds with one stone. Sweet. All right. My next question, Chris. So how many times have you been in the interview round? Is this your third time?
This
in the
is my
interview round?
third time. Third time's the charm, hopefully.
So my question for you, Chris, How do you believe you've improved since the last time you were here in this spot a year ago?
Well, for one, I have a lot more experience just bouncing ideas off of people and just generally interacting with a group in a much more interesting and cooperative way, as opposed to before just being like, well, I'm gonna kind of have some experience maybe with being in one game previous in all of my life. So that's definitely just with time I've improved my ability to bounce off people.
What would you say is your biggest goal for Norio as a character throughout this campaign?
Obviously, to fix whatever is wrong with the timeline so that he's no longer going from 100 to 5 years old. But beyond that, probably would be to paint vampires in a good light, just so that he can show that they're not monsters.
I'm glad you touched on that because I think this is something that I don't know if any viewers are aware of, but Chris was talking to me about his character concept because, again, autobiography is hard. So we both thought it would be kind of interesting if he is in the campaign, if Norio just kind of shifts between, like, stages. So one moment he's normal 20-something looking old Norio. The next he's, like, baby Norio. The next moment he's, like, angsty teenager Norio. And then the next moment he's, like, in his, however, like, hundreds or whatever. So I thought that'd be kind of a really interesting concept that he might change between ages.
So just picture an angsty teen in a magical girl costume. If you want to see that.
Yeah. Yes. Cool. All right. Those are all my out-of-character questions. So back to you, Roma.
All right. So we're going to move on to the in-character part. So, baby Norio, you are 5 years old. You're walking down the street by yourself. What would baby Norio be doing as he's walking down the street?
He's definitely looking for a candy store. Just right off the bat. I don't know why he's here or whatnot or how he got away from his mother, but he's definitely looking for that candy store.
You're looking for a candy store, and you actually see the sign for your favorite candy store up ahead. But as you're looking at it, it kind of shifts to this old-fashioned, old-timey clothing store that was probably there a long time ago. So the candy store has suddenly disappeared.
You're gonna frown, walk up to it, poke it a few times, go back. I was so close.
It suddenly shifts, and you briefly see it turn back into the candy store, but then it shifts further ahead into like a rocket parts store.
He's gonna go inside. It's not candy, but he can do some interesting things with those rockets.
So you go into this store that's selling rocket parts. The store owner is back there. There's lights beeping everywhere. There's like little machine parts just whirring. There's even a roped off section where there's parts that are actually on fire at the moment.
Right past the rope.
Right past the rope. Okay.
He's a young kid. It's interesting. Let's go for it.
The vendor like says, "Hey, little kid, get away from there!" And he runs towards you and he grabs your shoulder.
Oh, but it looks so interesting.
You're looking at these rocket parts, and you do that thing when he grabs your shoulder where you kind of turn to look at him. But in the instant that you turn to look at him, you're looking at a field medic. And you are not baby Norio anymore. You are in your late 20s. And you're the field medic who is working with you says, "Norio, are you listening? They're coming this way. The enemy is coming this way."
Let's go. What are we waiting here for? And I'm gonna run with him. in whatever direction he's leading.
He leads you towards some wounded soldiers. This is actually during the Wizarding War. So there are explosions going on. There's magical spells being flung all over the place. There are soldiers on the ground, just bleeding out and dying. I should also mention you're pretty hungry.
Yeah. Come on. Do your job. Feed later.
The field medic leads you to this group of fallen soldiers, and he gets down and just starts working on them.
Yeah, I look for my supplies. I need something to patch this guy up.
I'll say you have like a belt that has all the supplies that you need.
I guess this'll work. And I'm just gonna focus on patching up anything that's bleeding first.
You're focusing on patching up anything that's bleeding, and the smell of the blood is really starting to get to you.
Do we have anyone that's broken bones or something?
The other guy looks at you and he says, he knows your issue. He knows that you're a vampire, but he says, Norio, everyone else is busy in other areas. We have to take care of this right now.
And he's gonna bite his own lip to like cause pain so that he can focus on that instead of the hunger. Possibly even to the point where he's bleeding.
You bite your own lip, and as you bite your own lip, suddenly you're a 16-year-old boy.
Oh, what? Ow!
Your date is sitting across the table from you, and she says, "Are you okay?"
And he's kind of like looking around, trying to recognize where he is.
You're at this very popular restaurant. I'll say it's like an Italian style restaurant. She has like some lasagna in front of her. It's half eaten, and she says, "Norio, we were talking, and suddenly you just bit your lip. Are you okay?"
I don't know. I felt so. I don't know.
Do you need to go to the doctor?
No, I don't think other than a pain in my lip, now I feel fine. But like I was in a different place for a moment. I don't.
Norio, you're scaring me a little bit.
Sorry, it was nothing. It was nothing. What were we talking about?
Well, I was asking you what you wanted to do. Once we're finished with school.
Oh, doctor. I wanted to become a doctor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, there was a guy back at my home. When I was really young, I kind of looked up to him, and he was an alchemist and a doctor. But, well, potions you can make anywhere, but you've got to be certified to be a doctor. So I figured I could learn to be a doctor at school, get certified, and then go back because he passed away when I was young.
Sorry to hear that. Well, you know what? I think you have what it takes. And suddenly your date turns into someone else. You're sitting in a job interview, and the person sitting across from you is just saying what she just said. I think you have what it takes.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. I've wanted this since I was a kid.
One question though. How are you going to treat patients who know about your condition?
Well, I mean, as long as I keep myself well fed and with the potions, it's not terribly hard. I make sure that I have a steady access to it. So as long as I'm not, covered in it, it really isn't a big issue. So I just would have to stay away from surgeries is the main issue?
Staying away from surgeries. The person across the table from you kind of looks over at his partner. He's whispering a little bit, and then he turns back to you and he says, "You know, I think maybe we can work something out. You just need to do need to do a few things for us."
All right.
Well, we will need you to register, obviously. We will need you to wear a special name tag that shows that you are a vampire. Patients deserve to know. They deserve to know about you.
Yeah.
We can't have a liability issue at this hospital.
I am pre-registered already, so.
That's good to hear. And he kind of taps his papers that he has, and he says, "Do you have any questions for us?"
Well, when do I start? I mean, like I said, I've been waiting for this forever, so.
Well, he looks at the calendar that's on the wall, and he says, "I think we can maybe start you in. Get down!"
And he
Field
kind of
medic.
ducks.
The field medic is back, and you're back on the battlefield. Something has come hurtling toward you, and it explodes
What
right
the?
close to you.
Am I hurt or is my buddy hurt?
Your buddy is hurt, and the enemy is rushing in your direction.
I look down. Oh shit! You've got patients. You got medic. I grab my friend. I have to get him out. I'm gonna grab him and I'm going to try and pull him to safety.
Okay. You grab your friend, and I'll say he's a bigger man than you. Picking him up is definitely going to be a struggle, not to mention running with him away from the enemy. So you're running with him, and your friend is trying desperately. He says, Norio, just drop me. You have to get out of here.
Not on your life.
The enemy is coming closer, and they absolutely surround you. You are like they have their wands on you. They are wearing their masks. You know that these people generally don't take prisoners.
I am going to try and grab my wand and I grab my wand and I'm going to try and apparate out holding my buddy.
You grab your wand and you try to apparate out, but just as you're saying the first words, the first syllables, apparate, suddenly you're back with your first aid again.
Yes. So what did you want to do?
Well, I was thinking about being an herbologist.
Very good profession. I hear that they've got. Well, what was the man? The really good kid in our class. He was a couple of years younger. Had the really important dad.
Oh, that kid Albion or something, right?
Yeah. Got the right preacher in front of him.
I think so. I think he's a good guy. And as she's talking about Albion, suddenly you're back in the rocket store, which is actually the candy store again. You remember everything that's happened. What is Baby Norio's initial reaction to finally being back and seeing what he wanted from the beginning?
Where are the suckers? Where are those bloodsuckers at? Because those are what he wants. That other stuff is interesting. He doesn't know why he knows them. But that's for later. Right now, candy.
The vendor gets some suckers, and it's the same vendor as was in the rocket store, but now he's just the candy guy. So he gets you some suckers, and he says, "Here you go, little man."
You gonna suck on it for a second? Do you build rockets?
I can't say I do.
Okay. Well, then he's gonna walk out. He's a kid. He's got a candy. He knows what he wants. He's got it.
Yep. All right.
Hey everyone, this has been a glimpse at my life in a very odd way, I must say. And, well, I'm thoroughly intrigued to see how it goes. But if you really want to figure out what's wrong with the timeline, then perhaps you'd like to see me in the upcoming campaign. And I hope to see at least some of you there with me. So, that's been all from me. Good luck. Stay healthy out there.